Hi, my name's Alex Wellock. This is my band ensemble arrangement presentation. The song that I have been given is Fix You by Coldplay, and the genre that I have chosen is rock and roll. The structure for the song is intro verse, chorus solo bridge, and then chorus and an outro. The structure I will be using will be the exact same structure as this is used in a lot of rock and roll songs. The vocals start in the original song with the organ for the first verse. Piano starts in the chorus, and then an acoustic guitar comes in with the second verse. The electric guitar then comes in with the drums for the solo and the bridge section. My version will start with a guitar riff, and it will keep the exact same structure. The actual form of the structure is a ternary structure, which is ABA format, which means verse, chorus, verse, and it is accompanied by a solo and bridge section. The chord structure contains the chords E flat, G minor, C minor, E flat over B flat, A flat, B flat, sus, and yeah, that is it. And they are all used throughout the verse, chorus, solo, and bridge section. I will be keeping the same chord structure as it is a simple chord structure, which is used in a lot of rock and roll songs. The instrumentation then is, for the original version, the instrumentation is vocals, organ, piano, acoustic guitar, electric guitar, bass, and drums. I will only be using vocals, guitar, drums, and bass, as most rock and roll songs only use these four instruments. The timbres used in the song then, the actual timbres create a sad effect on the listener, and the organ creates the sadness, which is used in a lot of situations such as funerals. My version, however, will be a happier sounding version, and the guitar will have a driving riff which will be a lot happier sounding. The aspects of time then for the song. Well, the original song is played at a slow tempo. However, my version will be played at a fast tempo, as a lot of rock and roll songs are played at a faster tempo, around about 180 BPM. The time signature for the song then is in 4/4, and my version will be the same. I will have accents during the intro riff, which will be played by the drums on beats 1 for a various amount of bars. The original version then has a straight rhythm and is played in quarter time. However, mine will have a swung rhythm and will be played in half time. There is a lot of space in the original song, and this helps the piece to develop. However, I will be using polyrhythmic rhythms in my version, and the drums will be playing a triplets swing groove on the ride cymbal. The harmony then for the actual song, the original version has a simple chord progression, as I've mentioned earlier, and this actually helps the song to develop. The harmony doesn't really clash at all, as the instruments are playing just the chord structure while the vocals actually just sit on top. This is the same for rock and roll, as it has a simple chord structure, and like I say, a lot of the instruments just play the chords while the vocals sit on top. The original version then has a tight accompaniment. So that means that the band stays nice and tight throughout the whole song, while the vocals just sing the melody. It has, as I mentioned, it has a sad emotion, so the organ creates the sadness along with the vocals. However, my version will be a lot happier, which means people would actually be able to dance to the rock and roll version. The actual key of the song is a diatonic key. It's not chromatic, it's diatonic, which means it stays in one key, and my version will actually be the same. The melody of the song, is actually performed on the vocals throughout most of the song. However, it is also played on the electric guitar during the bridge and solo section. The song actually develops into the bridge, and the pitch range of the song is the actual vocals are sung by a male, and they're quite a high male voice, which means that it is a tenor male voice. The vocals are actually quite smooth and laid back. However, my vocals in the song will have a harsher vocals to it. I will also be using a female singer, which means I'll have to adjust the pitch range to see, as the female singer might not be able to sing so high. There are 4 melodies used in the song, and these are used during the verse, chorus, bridge, and solo section. And my arrangement will actually stay the same and will only have 4 melodies used. The texture then for the actual song is it's a thin texture, the original song has a thick texture, and there are about 7 instruments being played, which are vocals, organ, acoustic guitar, piano, electric guitar, bass, and drums. So with all these instruments, the song actually has quite a bit of depth to it. However, my version will have quite a thin texture, as there will only be 4 instruments being used, and it will so my instruments will be vocals, guitar, bass, and drums. The instruments actually accompany the melody, which they play the chords, allowing the melody to be noticeable. And the instruments actually play in different sections throughout the original song, so this allows the song to actually develop. However, my arrangement will have all the instruments playing at one time throughout the whole song. So my arrangement won't actually develop in any sort of way. It won't have a big impact on the listener. The timbre then used in the original song. There are a variety of melodies used in the original song, and also layered vocals, which increases the texture, which gives it that thick texture. However, my arrangement will only have 1 layer of vocals, so it will be quite a thin texture. The tonality used in the original song, it has major and minor chords used, and has a minor sound to the song. However, my version will use the exact same lyrics, so minor lyrics, but will sound a lot happier, so it'll sort of contradict itself, as it will be using minor lyrics with a happier sound. The dynamics actually grow from mezzo piano to forte in the original version, so from the first verse to the bridge, and there is quite an emotional effect created in the song. However, my arrangement will only stay at 1 dynamic, which will be forte, as most rock and roll songs are only played at 1 dynamic. And also the sound that does actually strengthen during the bridge. However, my arrangement won't actually develop in any sort of way. The individual parts during the original song actually blend together, as there are no key changes or anything like that with the instruments playing. The song doesn't get confused, or the listeners doesn't get confused anyway. The song isn't muddied up at all. And they will play together to create a nice tight feel to the song, while the vocals just sing the melody on top. Before I decided to choose the genre of rock and roll, I did decide to choose the genre of swing, so big band swing, jazz, if you will, which would have been in the style of Glenn Miller. However, I decided that this wasn't going to work, as I would need to find a lot of brass instruments, such as trumpets, saxophone, different types of things, and I would need to change the actual chord progression as well. So I decided that this wouldn't work, as I only have sort of a limited amount of instruments at hand, which is vocals, guitar, bass, and drums. So I am also playing in 2 rockabilly / rock and roll bands currently, and I am very, very familiar with the rock and roll style, and I also thought that this would work, as I'm just familiar with it and I know what I can do with the song, and hopefully then get to improve my knowledge of rock and roll. So this has been my presentation. I'm Alex Wellock, and thank you very much.